So we've made it about a week through the consecration of St. Joseph. And with these videos, I think our plan is to look ahead, to see where are we going? What's the next step as we grow closer in relationship with this foster father of Jesus? In this next section, Joseph is placed into a long history of God's activity, starting first and foremost with Adam. Now Adam, the first man, obviously, we know the story. He chose sin. He rejected God. And now we have Joseph, in a certain sense, showing up and flipping that on its head. Often we talk of Jesus as the new Adam. But Joseph, too, allows us to see masculinity and the role of husband and father as one that chooses life and chooses a deep and full yes to God. From that first comparison with Adam, then Father Calloway starts to talk about Joseph in the line of David. Throughout the scriptures, they mention that Jesus will come from the lineage of King David. Now, Mary very well could have also come from that lineage, but in the scriptures we can follow back Joseph's family to the time of David. Just like King David, Joseph was given a unique role of leadership. He wasn't the king of Israel, but he was, in a certain sense, the king of his family, with certain roles and responsibilities that only he could fulfill. And with his docility to the Lord and the will of the Father, he did a pretty good job. We're also given the title Light of Patriarchs to describe Joseph. Just like the many patriarchs that came before him, in a certain sense, he was trying to bring light to the world. He brought the light, the life, the way, the truth. In a certain sense, he had done what the patriarchs before him had done, but he did it more perfectly, giving us the opportunity to have the true light of Christ to guide our journey closer to God. This title, Father of Lights, is the inverse of Lucifer, literally light bearer. What Lucifer didn't do was allow that power of carrying the light to enlighten the world to the power and the glory of God the Father. Whereas Joseph, through his humility and his fatherhood, chose to be a docile witness. The foster father, in simplicity and silence, allowed the light to shine brighter than anyone could have imagined. Also in this section, we have the time to reflect on what is Joseph's role with the Holy Family. That'll be a theme that'll continue throughout our time consecrating ourselves to St. Joseph. But first, I think we need to remember that Joseph had real human relationships with his family. I think we think of big moments, right? The flight of Egypt, or the powerful dreams Joseph had. But also, how many silent moments did they have? Jesus was crying in the middle of the night, and Joseph would go and care for him. Mary, in whatever practical needs she might have had, could rely on St. Joseph as her spouse and her guardian. He was a sturdy shelter, a perfect friend, the one that God knew could take care of both his son and the woman who would be chosen to be sinless for all time. Overall, in this section, I think the Lord is fleshing out that Joseph is a good man, a man of virtue, a man who's been called since the beginning of time, throughout all of history, to say yes, to take where others have fallen and bring the glory of God. We pray for that grace this week as we continue to fall deeper in love with him and his family, that we too might be able to take where we've once fallen and flip it on its head, that the moments where we failed to share the light now might be the place where the glory of God might be known. Have a beautiful week and know of my prayers for you, and I just ask you, pray for me.